I was adopted from China and I grew up so loved that I genuinely believed adoption had no impact on the person I am today. In this series called Living Adopted, I talk about what it's really like for me to be adopted from China, not as a child, but as an adult. On episode 15, I want to talk about my childhood. I recently saw a comment that was from kind of far back, but I didn't see it until now, asking me if I genuinely had a good childhood, and it kind of made me think about it. In a lot of the stuff that I say, I feel like there's like a big, I wouldn't say contradiction, but there's like two sides of the story where it's like I had a really happy childhood where I never really had to think too much about what I talk about like on my social media, and then the other coin is like growing up like in such a unique experience where you stood out so much as a child is something that I didn't realize like shapes a person, and it was kind of more of a delayed sort of understanding of how that shaped me as a person. Growing up, I really wasn't treated super different than like the next kid. My parents made sure that they didn't treat me as different in terms of like I'm just a human being at the end of the day, and I still will die on a hill that like it was the best for me to not be treated differently. My friends really never treated me differently. Like very few people treated me differently. So I grew up kind of oblivious to the fact that I'm this Asian kid in a white community. There were things that like I internalized myself growing up, like when I went through puberty early, when someone made fun of my eyes. All those things did have impacts, but it was a small piece in like a big puzzle. The stuff that caused like more of an impact, like I said, was more delayed until later. I noticed I had a lot of like different things that I needed to work through, like self-esteem issues when it came to relationship with men, different things that I really didn't understand kind of where they came from, but I found myself being a little bit different than like my peers, or struggling with things that maybe my peers didn't struggle with. And that's where I started learning like all the impacts, not only adoption, because adoption and living in an orphanage for the first 2 years of your life, that does impact you a lot. And then on top of that, foundation being the only Asian kid in most settings, I've learned how much that shaped me and built off of like the early days of my life. As a child, I was dealing with so many other just normal growing up things that had nothing to do with adoption, nothing to do with being Asian. I don't think it would have been the right time to explore this stuff, and I think I would have held a lot of resentment for my parents if they were to have pushed it. So I'm really appreciative for my childhood. I'm really appreciative of the kind of level of oblivion that I was in at the time, because it just wasn't the right time, and now is the right time, and now is where I'm learning a lot. Thank you so much for watching episode 15 of Living Adopted.